Welcome back, baseball fans, to another elimination video. Today we're eliminating the Milwaukee Brewers, who stunningly dropped 6 of 7 to the Twins. And what was considered, advancing to the second round of the tournament, it just didn't happen. The numbers suggest a good hitting team with a terrible pitching staff that collapsed at the worst time. George Scott was their all-star, in contention for the MVP, but for a last place team probably won't get it. It's a shame. 325, 10 homers, 31 RBIs. We improved Robin Yount's card to the 77, and that brought his batting average up as well. He's a 297 hitter now. That's good news. Next, we should probably improve Lezcano, Daryl Porter, Charlie Moore, and start getting a late 70s, look of Harvey's wall bangers. Ben Ogilvy, speaking of that, 337, 4-14 there at the top. Pretty solid offense, really, all things considered. They scored 132 runs, gave up 183. They only played 29 games because they were swept or lost, only won one game in a series, and they actually swept the Angels, who were in first place at the time, three straight. So when you get swept or you sweep a lot of teams, you generally don't play a lot of games. That was Milwaukee's situation. When you don't play a lot of games and you get knocked around, your ERA is going to balloon. But there's no hiding that Bill Travers, 3-5, 608, Jim Slayton, 2-3, 641, unbelievable. And then Jim Colburn, 560, Ed Sprague in the bullpen, 836. These are just horrendous numbers. Now, the Tom Murphy card is a 74 card with a sub-2 ERA, and he did an okay job with 3.14 ERA and 6 saves. He was the shining spot of a terrible rotation. So with that, we'll take a look at the Brewer card set, pull out the 8 players from 74. And should be these guys here. And these are the guys they're going to bring back. Hopefully it's a lot more hitters than pitchers. It certainly is. It's 9 hitters and 3 pitchers, so that bodes well for a team that's hitting well. And we'll do a sort of this. Catcher first. Oh, they almost have a complete, look at this, they almost have a complete lineup with the 9 hitters, just need a bench. So John Briggs would be a decent DH, homers, walks, strikeouts, nice little player. Porter, even though he's got the 1-2 template, it's a high batting average. Look at that, 275, that kind of sneaks up on you. That's because the 77 Royals had a bunch of hitters hitting above 275. Here's your 1975 home run leader, George Scott. Nice card for him. Darryl Thomas wasn't a Brewer. They might trade him back to the Giants and get a new second baseman. Maybe by next year, guys like Molitor or Jim Gantner will be available. Dave Roberts was a Padre. You'll see a lot of free agents that aren't here. But this is an effective card. At 283 average, you've got all this power and walks on that side, and you could still be over there. You just can't field. Here's the Yount card that hit almost 300 for us. He overperformed a little bit. He still doesn't have the power, though. So he's still mostly like a number 2 hitter, maybe a leadoff hitter. He doesn't have that mid-lineup production yet. He'll get that pretty soon. And they might think of bumping him up annually, progressively, to get, to accelerate his MVP and his Hall of Fame credential. This Ogilvy card is fine to stick around for another few years until they bump him up to his 1980 card where he hits the 41 homers. Now Lezcano, this is a decent card. He's a 3 in center, had to play out of position a lot because Gorman Thomas hasn't arrived yet. We expect Thomas to arrive hopefully this off season. Then they can put him in the corners. And Ollie Brown, great arm. Always had a great arm in the outfield. This card is 300. Yeah, 303 hitter. Did it with the Phillies. He also played for the Padres and the Brewers, which leaves just 3 pitchers. You've got to hope that Bill Travers can figure it out again. I mean, it's a nice card. He's a starter 8, 281 ERA, 240 innings. The best year of his career, really. Just got knocked around. Maybe if there's a law of averages next year, it's just he has a great year. But we like this. Like the homer 1 fly ball there, the single 1 to 6 there. Nice starter 8. And Augustine, there's a lot of Jerry Augustine's cards out there. A lot of them aren't very desirable. This one is. This is probably the best card of his career. In 76. And having 2 quality lefties in your rotation, assuming they perform, is a great get. And then Tom Hausman's a relief starter. He was in the bullpen. They have a ton of starting pitching in their system. So he's flexible to move in either spot. But he'll probably be the long man next year. Here he leans on the righties and allows lefties to reach. So with that, let's take a look at the 8 players from 1974 to see who's coming and going. Who do they keep, who do they waive, and who do they retire? All right, here's our look at the 74 Brewers, beginning with Charlie Moore. We know he'll play quite a while for the Brewers, all the way in the early 80s, almost a lifetime Brewer. So he'll practically should come back. 75, he hits 290. Again, they're going to need 2 catchers. So Porter and Moore and someone else once Porter goes. But Moore will be in the picture. Ted Simmons will arrive, but not for a while. Plus, Charlie Moore is 379 also. Nice 301 and 81. What a great, almost forgotten player. How many great years he had offensively. So let's make Charlie Moore a keeper here. Next, we have Yvonne Morel, was just a free agent brought in to platoon with Ben Oglivie in left field. He might be at the end of his career. Yeah, he's done in 74. So this was the end. This was the conclusion of a career. We had a couple neat cards. The 70 card was a fun one, and then the 71 card, I think, we used, or was it the 69? We used a couple. I think the inaugural 69 Padre card we used. Prior to that, he never even got a gig. So that's the end of the career of Yvonne Morel. All right, next, Ron Santo came over to. It's interesting because last year Glenn Beckert was put on waivers by the Cubs, and then the White Sox called and said, "Hey, why don't you come to the South Side and platoon with George Orta?" And he's like, "Okay." Santo was waiting for a call from the White Sox, who he actually did play for. It never came, so he went to a division rival, the Brewers, in our replay. You see. So with that, we can say put an end to the Hall of Fame career of Ron Santo. He can now go happily into retirement. And then I think we're on to pitching. So it looks like the Brewers, Charlie Moore, they already have Darryl Porter and Charlie Moore, so they're really not changing too much of this offense. They got to retool this pitching staff, and hopefully these guys will get better. Jim Slayton, he should be around for a bit. You see, that 74 was decent. 392 with a .142 whip. He's got a nice 76 card, leading in the majors, and hits allowed. Thought it was innings pitched at first. 130, good enough to get into the league with. 3.6 WAR as well. That's going to be the highest WAR of his career, I believe. Yeah. So we'll bring Jim Slayton back. I mean, maybe they just need to improve their defense, or be more efficient, scoring more runs, having a better bullpen. There's all sorts of ways that this pitching can improve, and luck might be the thing they need the most. Jim Colburn, a Brewer and a Royal in this timeline. So here's the thing. We noticed about Kansas City that they gave up on Al Fitzmaurice and Steve Busby as they didn't really factor into the Kansas City success. Well, they have Colburn in 77 and 78, and he actually factors in a little bit to their success in 77. Pitching 36 starts, 35 starts for them in a playoff appearance. So you could see how he's not beholden to the Brewers anymore. He could be a Brewer or a Royal in the future. With the Brewers, his ERA is bad, then it's good again. For now, let's keep him as an asset, but understand he might be a tradable asset. And there's plenty of expansion teams who would want him as well. Plus, the thing is, if you go with Travers, Slate, and Augustine, that's good enough for a big three. And then you find you can move Ed Sprague or Tom Houseman into the 4 spot. So Colbert might ultimately be a trade chip. Here is Ed Sprague, though he now might be gone. No, he does have a 75 with the Brewers. Not a good one. His numbers aren't very good anymore. No sense putting him on waivers. Let's put him on the retirement list. In all the years I've been doing this, I've never had a problem where the retirement list has gotten so large that it doesn't have the proper number of waivered players. Meaning that if a guy doesn't play anymore, he can't be on waivers. He doesn't exist. But you have plenty of guys on waivers who could be moved into retirement, basically telling them, look, we know you still play baseball. You're not very good anymore. We're going to put you on the retirement list. But in this case, we're going to hit the retirement list with gusto so that we have a cleaner looking waiver list. Now we have Cabell and Murphy here next. We know Cabell will continue for the Mets. He had some nice years in here. 79 is a good year. 78, do they make this card? I hope they do. That's a nice stat line there. 108 innings, they'll make that card. This card, this is what the Brewers should do. They could jump on this, steal this year away from the Mets. Who even knows if the Mets are even interested in this year? So he was very young. Look at that. So he was only 20 years old with that card we just used. He's 24 years old in 78, and then he's gone by 80. He blew out his arm apparently at age 26. Kevin Cabell. So we're going to keep him. And we talked about this team has a terrible ERA. I think you need to find assets wherever you can get them. So take a year away from the Mets and add it to your team. And then lastly, Tom Murphy. He had this really exceptional year. He was a starting pitcher. You see, he had 3 years pitching on 3 days rest. And then 74, he is a full-time reliever. No starts. 66 games finished to lead the baseball. Got on the MVP list. 190 ERA and a 120 whip for him. Now, after this, they'll make cards for him. He can qualify for waivers. Isn't this interesting? If the Red Sox, this is a 2-team performance. I call him a jag at this point. He's just a guy. He's nothing special. And he pitched for the Brewers and the Red Sox. So they can fight for him, I suppose. I'd put him on waivers. We don't have anybody on waivers yet. Let's put him there. And also, I think the Brewers are getting into the Bob McClure era, and they have some nice relievers coming up. Jamie Easterly, in a little bit. Moose Haas should be arriving soon. So there's a lot of arms coming to rescue the Brewers. That's a nice conventional strategy. 40103. You probably see this will probably come up. 40301, 40103, 40202, probably the most common ones. So that's a pretty steady look. You know, Charlie Moore, bringing him back, of course. Hoping for better luck with Slayton and improved Cabell and a trade chip with Jim Colburn. Of course, you can keep Jim Colburn as well. You've got that option. So that's a pretty solid offseason for the Milwaukee Brewers. Hope you enjoyed this analysis, and we'll see you next time.